All right, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 36, and we're going to kick things off with Lionel Messi winning the Ballon d'Or yet again. But I'm sure the million-dollar question that you guys want to know the answer to is, where am I heading to? There were loads and loads and loads of suggestions, but I am going to Blackburn Rovers, and it is, of course, for those who do not know, the team that I support as well. And it seemed a good fit, so there were a lot of suggestions to places like Ajax. I think Ajax was a great shout because of the way that they nurture young players. Neuter. I hope they don't neuter young players. But they didn't want me, and pretty much all top flight teams across the world didn't want me unless it was Japan or China. So then I tried like your Aston Villas, and even they didn't want me, like the teams that are competing for promotion in kind of secondary divisions. And then I just decided, you know what, I need to leave Japan. Let me just try Blackburn Rovers, the team that I support. You know, realistically, I'd love to play for them, and they accepted me. So obviously I didn't kind of start in the main team straight away. You guys will have caught the results there, some good, some bad. But I did get put on the bench for a championship game against Hull City. If you caught a glimpse of the table, we're currently in the bottom half. We've not quite escaped relegation just yet, but that fantastic strike from Adam Armstrong will hopefully help us do exactly that at this stage. He made it 1-0. Really, really good goal. You can tell, of course, that we are at Ewood Park. If you've ever seen Ewood Park or you've ever been at Ewood Park, it's amazing to have stadiums like this in the game. But Will Keane, ex-Man United player, got the equaliser. And, of course, at this point, I'm just kind of watching from the bench. That camera angle where you see the fans up in the Jack Walker end is quite cool because that's roughly where I sit in real life because I have a season ticket. It feels good to be playing for the team that I support. Bradley Dack somehow managed to play that ball into Adam Armstrong as he grabs his second. Good cross from Elliot Bennett for the assist as well. I think one thing that's kind of disappointing is like PES notoriously is known for ridiculous transfers, but they released a patch that tones it down. But it's like they went from one extreme to another because we're like 4 years into the future, and this Blackburn Rovers side is practically the same side we had last season. So I find it really unrealistic that most of these championship teams have the same teams 4 seasons later. I don't want to sit here and moan about PES. I'll sit and moan about that goal that we conceded to Evandro. But it's typical Blackburn Rovers, really, conceding goals left, right and centre, and scoring goals left, right and centre under none other than Mogger Tony Mowbray. So, Adam Armstrong got his third lovely header for the little man up front. And I did eventually get some game time. I got subbed on for Bradley Dack, playing just off Armstrong. I've been given the number 13 shirt. I'll keep it for now, see if I can get something a little bit nicer like the number 10 shirt a little bit later. Obviously, my main role here is try and be the creative outlet behind the lone striker. Cross into the box. Amari Bell, who's pushed forward all the way from left back, ends up picking up the second ball. And it was nice to see that I kind of made an impact straight away. Even though it wasn't a direct assist, great movement, and a good goal there in the end. I think with Adam Armstrong up front, he's not exactly the biggest, so we need to try and avoid those kind of floated crosses and focus a little bit more on drilled crosses like I used to do with Yuma Suzuki back at the Kashima Antlers. I think that would work a little bit better for him when he's playing up front. In terms of another option up front, we've also got Ben Brereton, who we paid £7 million for last season, has only scored 1 goal against Bolton. I'm hoping this will be his season where he kicks off. He's a little bit bigger, a little bit better aerially in terms of how he's developed in the game. So I think we'll obviously play a little bit different when he's playing up front. One thing I do want to mention is if I do kind of sneak into the first team or get a couple of starts, I don't actually want to be playing in the attacking midfielder role. I want to be playing in one of the side roles, because one of the main reasons why I joined Blackburn was because I feel like I can link up really well with Bradley Dack. Great movement there from me, close to a debut goal, really good save from the Hull goalkeeper. Here's another chance as well. Play the ball in towards Adam Armstrong. He's looking for his 4th goal of the game, but it just went wide. So I'm going to actually be trading myself as a left midfielder, and I'm going to set my settings to not want to play as an attacking midfielder. That way, the manager or Tony Mowbray will either put me on the right-hand side or the left-hand side of the attacking midfield of the 3 spots in the 4-2-3-1. And that means the chances are less likely that I will play as a central attacking midfielder, which means that I'll play alongside Bradley Dack rather than, taking Bradley Dack's spot up, which is unrealistic for me to walk into this side and do anyways. Yeah, I started the next game away at the DW Stadium against Wigan Athletic, who are actually in the top 3 right now. And you can see why. Merry, from a corner, scored a header. We're not exactly the biggest of sides, and our centre-backs, Dara Lenihan, I mean, we have a serious problem with our defence at the moment in real life that our manager's looking to fix. And according to Pro Evo, it's been 4 seasons and we've not even bothered signing another defender, so that's a little bit disappointing. And I feel like, I don't understand what it is with Konami, but it takes them like a trillion years to acknowledge there is a problem somewhere, and then when they come to fix it, it goes from one extreme to another. It's so frustrating, and it's so frustrating conceding another goal to the Ticks as well. Joe Garner, a bit of blood with him, because obviously he used to play for Preston, scored against us at Ewood, and then did a whole funny chicken thing to take the piss out of the Venkies. So that one hurt. I got subbed off eventually. It wasn't the best game for me. Adam Armstrong, though, stepped up, scored a free kick, and it left us with 10 minutes to try and get another goal, to try and level things up. Really good strike from Adam Armstrong. I mean, he's got 80 overall, which is quite phenomenal, really. But he really should have scored there. Obviously, in real life, I wouldn't say he's anywhere near 80 overall. I mean, I'm surprised he's not got a transfer to the Premier League so far with an overall of 80. But the game obviously has him down as the type of player that will grow a fair bit. So a 5.5 rating for me, not really great. And apparently I picked up an injury, which meant I was out for the next game. We lost 4-1 to QPR. We then somehow beat Norwich 3-1. So as you can see in the table, we're just about, we're a couple of points above the relegation zone. Started picking up some draws against the Knobenders, against Reading, against Forest, and this is where I basically decided, look, I don't want to play as an attacking midfielder. I'd leave my options open on both sides, and then after I recovered from my injury, Gaffer decided to put me back into the starting lineup at Ewood against Stoke City, and I was either on the right or the left-hand side, I can't remember. Made me laugh to see Serge Aurier playing for Stoke as right back. Yeah, not the kind of player you expect to see in the Championship, but I was linking up quite well with some of the players. I was on the left, sorry. It was Lewis Travis on the right-hand side, which is kind of annoying as well, because he's not really a pacey winger-style player. I'd expect Elliot Bennett on the right-hand side. Travis is more of kind of like a central midfielder player. I picked the ball up, play the through ball into Adam Armstrong, who manages to get a shot off, but both teams really were struggling to break the deadlock. I win a free kick on the edge of the box, pretty much the same place Armstrong managed to score against Wigan from, and as you can see, he managed to smash it home again. So what a player Adam Armstrong has been for us so far, not just this season, but in the past couple of games when I've just been here. We then gave one away of our own, but David Raya, who has of course gone to Brentford in real life, managed to save it. They had a headed chance, and it was another good save from the Spaniard in David Raya. I got substituted off eventually. I think that was Bradley Dack with a header from a corner. Got just about tipped away by Jack Butland in goal. And Benik Afobe, what was, I think, the last chance of the game. And it meant that we beat Stoke City 1-0. Stoke are a really, really solid side, a 7.0 rating for me. And every point counts as we move up to 15th place. One thing I've certainly noticed is there is a significant difference in physicality and difficulty, between the Championship and the Japanese League, and that's quite satisfying really, because one thing I was worried about was me moving from the Japanese League to the Championship and it just feeling the same or feeling a little bit too easy. But I am noticing that the style at which a lot of teams play is very different. Some teams, the speed at which they attack at you is so much quicker because of the better quality player that they have, and it's really pushing me as a player. Like, I am getting frustrated whilst playing, obviously, off camera, and I feel like it is a genuine challenge, and that's portrayed by the fact that I've not even got any goals or assists yet, but got a considerably decent amount of game time under my belt, and that's what I want from this. I don't want to play this. I don't want to, create a narrative where it's really easy. I want it to be difficult. I want it to be a struggle. But let's bear in mind that I am still very, very young, so there's still a lot of my career to be played. 2-1 down against Argentina. I got substituted on. I spot the run of Ryan Sessegnon out on the left-hand side, and it was another assist for the for the Three Lions and another assist for myself in a Three Lions shirt at Wembley. It just goes to show the quality that I do have when, on a good day, shall we say. I did really well there. Sessegnon cut inside, took on 2 Argentinian defenders. And of course, these friendly matches are kind of warming up, getting some of the lads used to each other before the World Cup. Now, in terms of our World Cup group, we actually have the United States, Qatar, and Switzerland in our group. So on paper, we should be topping that group, or at least finishing second behind the US. So we'll see what happens. Back to Blackburn. And it was a derby match, or back to Bolton rather, and it was a derby match. Back to Lancashire, gets the job done, doesn't it? Away at the University of Bolton Stadium, as it's known at the moment, or the Macron, as many people knew it as, or as the majority of us 90 kids call it, the Reebok Stadium. It always will and always has been the Reebok Stadium. But yeah, through ball into Adam Armstrong. Boom! My first assist against the Wanky Wanderers, and it was another goal for Adam Armstrong as well. Interesting to see him do that celebration, shushing him, because obviously he played for him on loan, didn't do very, very well, but he's come to Blackburn Rovers and he's become a key player for us. So good to see him score against them. I was playing centrally here. I don't think the training thing that I put in terms of choosing my position had really kicked in just yet, so I think I was playing centrally. Ball was played to Adam Armstrong, who then played it into my stride down this right-hand side. Managed to whip the ball, the low cross into the box like I used to with my boy Yuma Suzuki, and now my boy Adam Armstrong. Got me my second assist of the game. So, you can definitely tell that I'm a Blackburn fan, because my performance has improved significantly in what is a derby match. Anyhow, I came close to getting my first goal as well. It went just wide of the target, but it didn't matter because the referee deemed it a bad challenge. Adam Armstrong stepped up to take the penalty, but even though he was on his hat-trick, he had a chance of a first-half hat-trick. It was saved by the Bolton goalkeeper. Cross into the box. I can't quite tell who that was. I think it was Bradley Dack. He hit the bar from a header. And, yeah, we were comfortable. We looked good. We hadn't really seen much come out from Bolton until Josh Vella whipped the ball into Sammy Amiobi, and they made it 2-1. And they gave themselves a bit of a lifeline in front of a home crowd. A minute later, they were still coming. Oz Tumo, they obviously signed in League One, from League One side, Walsall, with a great ball towards Skenderovic, and before you know it, we could have gone 3-0 up at one point in this game if Adam Armstrong had scored that penalty, and suddenly it was 2-2. And, we couldn't afford to mess this one up. One thing that was really annoying here is because I only have one striker in front of me and we play with a right and left midfielder, it does feel like sometimes when I'm playing that central role, I'm kind of lacking runners off the ball. But, fortunately for us, Adam Armstrong used his burst of pace to beat the offside trap. Lovely feet, lovely trickery, and smashed it into that right-hand side of the goalkeeper corner in the 86th minute to get the Man of the Match award. And, of course, take the match ball home and get us all 3 points. A 9.0 rating for him, an 8.0 rating for me. Now I'm trying to figure out why on earth during editing I showed that page. I think that was a mistake, but we'll leave it in there because why not? You guys can take a look at what the full squad looks like if you pause the video. As you can see, I'm starting to get a run in the side here. I am playing as a left midfielder now. I'm looking to link up a lot with Amari Bell, who's playing as a left back. He's a little bit annoying because technically he's not that great, but physically he is. So sometimes I use the L1 right analog stick thing just to make him make a run or overlap me, just try and take a defender away from me. This is a scenario where Brereton's playing up front as we give Adam Armstrong a bit of a rest, and you saw how much playing the ball aerially to him suited him a little bit more. We were pretty much on top of the game for the mass majority of this first half, and then just before half-time, Keftenbeld popped up. It was a really, really simple cross for Birmingham, and this is what I mean in terms of our defence just not being good enough. I mean, our main defensive partnership in the game at the moment seems to be Darragh Lenihan and Joe Grayson. Granted, Joe Grayson could develop into a great player, but, I feel like in the game, I think he's at like 72, 73 overall. I think realistically, the AI should be looking to sign a better player than that. Same for Lenihan, same for all our defenders, really. One thing Joe Grayson is really good at is his corner deliveries. We scored from 2 of them. so far this game. We were 1-0 down, but the home crowd helped us pull our finger out, and suddenly we were 2-1 up against Birmingham. I cut inside here. I think it was Bradley Dack with the first header from the corner. I can't remember who got the second one. I missed it, to be fully honest. Nice play from me. Because I'm playing out on the left-hand side versus when I used to play on the right-hand side, and I'm obviously right-footed in Japan, I tend to cut inside a lot and shoot a lot more. So shooting is something I'm working on in training. But yeah, so a 6.0 rating for me. Not the best of games. Joe Grayson got 9.0 because he obviously got 2 assists. So fair play to him. And this is how the league table currently looks like. So Wigan, Leeds and Villa in the top 3 spots. Not that the third spot really counts because it goes to a playoff. 5 appearances, a 6.5 average rating for myself, and 2 assists so far in a Blackburn Rovers shirt. Not too bad, but there's still a long way to go until the end of the season. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next episode. And as well, look forward to the World Cup, because that very well could also be in the next episode. Thanks for watching.